Hey legends, welcome back to Always All-Wheel Drive. Today we're going to talk about that. That is the Adventure Kings Grand Tour Lite. For over 20 days on an absolutely epic Cape York adventure. We actually used that through one of the toughest terrain in this country. I'm going to take you guys through what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, how it held up, and most importantly, should you part with your hard-earned cash with one of those bad boys. So let's get stuck into it. Start with some statistics. How big is it? It is 137 centimeters wide, 210 centimeters long, and it is 18 centimeters at its highest point when closed. I reckon that is one of the thinnest rooftop tents on the market. One of the reasons why I purchased it was because I do live in an apartment and I need all the space saving that I can get to fit in those real narrow apartment car parks. Now, if you want to go thinner than 18 centimeters, you have to look at Drifter, you got to look at Ocam, and you're spending $3,000 to $4,000 more. So one of the key reasons why I got this, it is thin. It's an absolute game changer to have something this thin to fit in your apartment car park. Let's talk about weight. The rooftop tent weighs 70 kilos and that includes the ladder as well. Now, I actually don't keep the ladder inside because Adventure Kings didn't include a bag. You don't want a muddy ladder in there, so I actually don't keep it in there. So that should bring it down from under 70 kilos. I reckon that's one of the lightest on the market for the price point. If you want to get lighter, again, you got to go Ocam, you got to go Drifter, and they're only in the 60s anyway. Now my roof loading is 80 kilos, so I am more than fine. Yes, the roof racks weigh almost nothing. And if anyone wants to know how resilient this rooftop tent is, well, this morning I did a bit of a shakedown test just to show you guys. So let's check it out. Mounting the rooftop tent, it's actually really easy. The kit comes with, on each side, 3 mounting brackets. It consists of 2 bolts and a piece of metal under it. You bolt it through your roof rack. Now, I had to make a couple of modifications on this to fit onto mine. As you can see here, the tent is actually very wide, and when I first purchased it, there was no way this was going to fit on my existing roof racks. I didn't have time to custom fabricate what I actually wanted. So to get this over the line for the big Cape York trip, I remeasured both sides and then moved the rails inbound, re-drilled the holes and re-secured everything. Even added additional washers just to make it extra sturdy. And you know what? Super easy. Make sure you do get a mate to help you out, as I did, because this thing is actually incredibly heavy to try to do on your own. But the kit comes with everything that you need. So of course, one of the reasons why you do buy a rooftop tent like this is the hardy material. It is all full of aluminium. It is protected by a rubber seal that goes all around it. If you take a look at this, it is hardy as hell. I reckon, the fact that it survived Cape York on this first ever trip, there were no damage, there's no problems here, there's no scratches. It is a cracking tent and it really does make you feel like you're nice and safe when you are camping inside because of how sturdy it is. So to open the rooftop tent, it is powered by 2 actually quite powerful gas struts. Now, you might actually notice here that it is slightly bent. Now, that is my fault because before I mounted this, I had the ladder right here. And because I had the ladder here, I closed it and I bent it. So just be careful where you mount your ladder side mounts that it's not actually under there, because don't be a turn-up like me and bend it. So I actually bent it the first time I used it. Thankfully, it's all been fine and it's held up really well. But these gas struts are crazy strong. I remember being in fairly high winds up at Cape York. The car was rocking, but that tent was not coming down at all. And you can see that I've got a solar panel, so extra weight added on top as well. No problems at all. That thing will go up with no issues. Setting up this tent is absolutely super easy. So all you got to do when you first mount it on your vehicle, work out where you want to put your ladder. Over there, your canvas sporting poles as well, one on either side. Now, one thing I did do to help with closing is I actually moved one of my latches from the rear to the side, because I do have a fair bit of bedding in there. I'll get into that in a bit. And I found that it does secure it properly. So it's up to you if you want to mount yours exactly how I did it, but this is how I did it, and I feel that this works really well. Now, if you want to get into the tent, super easy. Undo the 2 latches, and you push up, and away you go. After that, you put your 2 awning poles in. That gives you, helps with the rain, things like that. And done. That's how you set it up. You are done. Packing down the tent is super easy. All you got to do is take off your awning poles, and you take this little rubber band and you put it around like the awning canvas. Then you slowly pull it down from behind. You tuck in everything on the side, make sure that everything is nice and well there. Then you latch your clamps, and away you go. Super easy, no fuss really. One thing I will mark this down for is the ladder. I had the King's Quickie Mark II, and if I recall, it was actually a metal ladder. This is a little, how's she doing? Put it that way. So it's one thing that if you could actually upgrade it, I would recommend doing that. So after our little walk up the ladder, let's check out how comfortable she is inside. So as you can see, very nice in here, very spacious. I'm a tall bloke, I'm around 6 foot, and even though I can't obviously stand up, you can, get on your knees, get comfortable, get changed. When it comes to conveniences, it's not as well equipped as maybe some of your more expensive brands. You do have 2 compartments on either side for like keys. At least you're not wrapping up your keys look like you are in a swag. You have 2 electrical inlets where you can actually run things from a 12-volt system into the tent here. A question I also get asked a lot is how much bedding can you keep up here in the tent? So let me show you what I keep in here all the time. I've got not 1, but 2 sleeping bags that are unzipped, and under that, yes, I know I'm a little fancy, I have a heated blanket with a 240-volt plug that actually just sits in here as well. So that's a fair bit of bedding that you can keep when you close the tent. You cannot keep a pillow in here. My old one on the King's Quickie, you could. You can't do that on here, unfortunately. But apart from that, you can actually fit a fair amount of bedding, but bear in mind, you do have to change the clamps around just to make sure that you're not having any issues with closing it. One thing that King's does sell, and I probably have to get onto it as well, is you can, this roof is almost like a, a cloth material, so you can put Velcro on it. You can put like your little objects. You can put like an iPad mount, make your own little home cinema system. So inside, it's quite nice, frankly. You've got your inside protection. The quality is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. On the canvas, it is meant to be 180 GSM, so I think that's quite average in the market. I can't see any rips that were done from wear and tear. Again, we use this for 20 days, every day camping in one of the toughest conditions. No bugs, no midges, no anything ever came in, which is fantastic. One thing to be mindful of though, the side awning poles, put them in the bag. Don't leave them exposed. I actually left them exposed when I tried to close it once, and I suspect I actually attributed to tearing the tent because I kept them on that side. So keep them in the bag, and as long as you're not an idiot like me and you close it with exposed metal, you're gonna be fine. The tent packs up really well. The canvas dries really quickly as well. Like all you need is half an hour in the sun. It's all dry, ready to go. One thing I will note is you can actually unzip the whole canvas. So this looks quite serviceable as well, which means that your investment will last a little bit longer. We camped in 30 degrees, ice cold and everything in between. Pouring rain, absolute windy conditions. This thing has held up an absolute treat. No matter how inclement the weather was, no matter where we were, this thing held up really well. No water ever came in, no bugs ever came in. Even in the sun, it didn't get too hot inside, which I know a lot of tents can do. I suspect that could be because there's not a huge amount of canvas in it. But overall, in inclement weather, no water came in. I think frankly that's the most important thing when you are camping, how you're doing situations. I'm going to talk about condensation briefly. This thing isn't actually too bad. As long as you open your windows halfway down, you're fine with condensation. It's just part and parcel of camping. Everything is always, you're going to have your issues with condensation. We don't run a condensation mat under this, and frankly, I don't really feel we need it at this point. As long as we keep the windows halfway open, whether it is in the middle of winter or the middle of summer, we found that the tent breathed really well. And as long as you just take the time to dry it out a little bit, again, you just need half an hour and away you go. I have to say, I have not had a better night's sleep camping than I have in that rooftop tent. We did 20 days, and there were some motels where I would have rather been in here than in there. And it is, I could do another 20 days. It fit me and the miso so well. Now, because you are perched up high, you don't actually get any of the cold if you're camping in winter, and you get a beautiful breeze in summer, especially if you're camping around the beach like we were at the Loyalty campground. The mattress is 5 centimeters, so it is on the thinner side, but we do have the heated blanket under the mattress, and I can't speak more highly of this compared to my swag, compared to my tent, even compared to my previous rooftop tent. I genuinely not had a better sleep, and this is really important when you're doing long days of off-roading and wheeling. You want to be rested, you want to be recuperated, and rest is a very underrated part of off-roading. If you're driving for days on end and you're not getting any sleep, you're going to damage not to yourself but to your vehicle and even to the track around you. So I cannot recommend this highly enough for one of the best night's sleeps I've ever had. One thing I wanted to briefly touch on was how you can accessorize this, and that's one of the reasons why I really like this tent too. You would have seen on my Cape videos that we had a shower awning. On the top, I've also got a 130 watt solar panel that ties into my 12 volt system, and I've left space for my max tracks or anything else I want to mount up there. You can see on these rails how super easy it is to put on and to put off. And you can't do that on a lot of other tents at this price point as well. A lot of them are either a soft top or like a plastic top. My last tent, the King's Quickie, was a plastic top, and that was one of the reasons why I did end up selling it. The $1 million question, after all that, should you go out and spend your hard-earned cash on one of these bad boys? In my opinion, absolutely. It is sturdy, it is comfortable, it is affordable, it is very modular, and most importantly, it is old teletrack proof. I don't think you can get a higher accolade than that. You can grab these for sometimes $1,200 on the Adventure Kings website. And whereas your nearest competitors, you're looking at 2, 3, even 4 times the price of this. If you're getting into off-roading and you want to just upgrade from the swag, I can't recommend this enough. And this channel is all about a budget build. Hope you guys like that. Like, comment, subscribe, and stick around because there is a new build coming to Always All-Wheel Drive. So if you want to see a bit of behind the scenes on that one, head to the socials, Always All-Wheel Drive Instagram. There's also a TikTok as well. We also just hit 1,000 subscribers, so I am going to try to do something special for that because I cannot thank each and every one of you for supporting this. I don't want to go home now. This is actually really nice. So I'll catch you guys next time.